Hello, welcome to this tutorial. This is a tutorial about how to provision the virtual machine in Oracle Cloud. So today I'm going to show you how you can create the virtual private network in Oracle Cloud infrastructures, and how we can launch our first virtual machine in Oracle Cloud. So let's start. So first we log in with our credentials. You can also create your free tier up login account with the Oracle. So I have mine, so let's start now. So this is the first screen you will get once you log in into your Oracle Cloud. So the first thing we need to do is we need to create a virtual cloud network. So there are two ways this is to create this virtual cloud network. One is from here, you can see, or you can click on this hamburger icon and you can go to the networking, and from there you can click on virtual cloud networks. So this is the first requirement that we need to create before provisioning any virtual machine in Oracle Cloud. Now the first thing is that we need to pick a compartment. So compartment is nothing, it is just similarly a group which basically used to organize our resources. So I'm just going to so how do you can create a compartment? So if you go here and if you go to the you can find it in two ways. Either you can just search here compartment, so it is in identity. So let's go to the compartments and I can create my own compartment. So just create a compartment. I'm giving it a name. I'm basically going to test a Moodle site, so I'm just going to give this compartment name is Moodle POC. So this compartment contains the resources of Moodle POC. So parent compartment is ADC. So that's why I'm in the parent compartment. Okay, I can give a name Moodle POC, tag it, create a compartment. Okay, just refresh it. So here is my new compartment. Okay, this is authorized and this has on was ID. Now I can go here and go to the networks, virtual cloud networks. Then I can choose my compartment Moodle POC. There I can create a VPC now. So there is two way to create a VPC. One which is basically a manually way to do it. Other is to start a VCN wizard. So this wizard is a step-by-step procedures, so that will not only provisions your virtual cloud network, but also the other requirements like security group, service group, security group or service gateway, private subnets, internet gateway net, everything. It will be provisions along with the virtual cloud network. So let me just start this. I'm creating this first one. I'm not going to use a site-to-site VPN, so let's choose the first one. So create VCN with the internet connectivity. Now here you can see that what it is going to provision. It is going to provision a VCN. One is public subnet, other is the private subnet. So the public subnet is connected to internet gateway, which allows the internet to my public subnet server, or allow the external user to access the server, which is provisions under the public subnet. Now the private subnet do not have a direct internet connectivity, so they go through this NAT device to the internet. So basically this private subnet is secured by this NAT device, so the external user never comes to know the what is the internal IP address of any resources provisioned under the private subnet. If you want to completely isolate this private subnets, you can just rid of this NAT gateway. Now the service gateway is the other Oracle services which either you need a private internet access to access those resources, or the other way is for the private subnets you can use a service gateway which allow them to access the Oracle services through their internal network. So this service gateway is similar to the endpoint we use in AWS network, AWS cloud. So now start the VNC wizard. Right, so the first we have to give the name of our virtual cloud network name. So I give it a name Moodle POC. My compartment is this. Now I need to configure this CIDR value. So I'm going to configure my CIDR value as 172.16.0.0/16. Then my public subnet CIDR block, so I'm just breaking it into the further 16.16.0/24, and for my private is 172.16.17.0/24. This is it. Okay, leave it as it is. Show tagging option. I give it a name, so the tag value is this VCN. I can change this name to my Moodle POC. Perfect. Then click on the next. Right, so just review it before we click on the create. So my Oracle Virtual Cloud Network is Moodle POC. Compartment is the Moodle POC. This is my tag. This is my main CIDR value. This is my DNS labels, Moodle POC. And this is my DNS name for this VCN is Moodle POC.oraclevcn.com. And now I have two subnets. One is going to provision is the public subnet, which has a CIDR value 172.16.16.0/24. Now it has a default security list, which is basically security groups, routing table. So it's also going to create a route table for this subnet. This is the DNS label for this subnet. Now I have a private subnet which has the name this. Its CIDR value is 172.16.17.0/24. It's also associated with security group and the route table name. So this security group is basically associated with this subnet. So anything we allow, any ingress traffic we allow through this security list is applied for the all resources which we are going to provision into this subnet. It's going to provision the three gateways: internet gateway, NAT gateway, and service gateway. So default security list for the Moodle, also two security lists. You can see what are the default rule. So it's ingress allow all the SSH and ICMP traffic from anywhere, and also ICMP for 3 destination unreachables from the 172.16 and egress for the all traffic. For the private one, these rules are by default created. Route table, it will show the default route table will show all the unknown traffic should be routed to internet gateway, and the route table for the private subnet is show anything which is unknown traffic should move to the NAT gateway, redirect to the NAT gateway, or all Oracle service network traffic should transfer to the service gateway. For example, object storage services. Perfect. So now I'm going to click on create, and it's take a while to provision all of this. Perfect. So everything is provisioned. You can check. Okay, so now we need to click view virtual cloud network. Perfect. So this is my two subnet, 172.16.17. This is my public subnet, this is my private subnet, right? I make this provision into my Mumbai region. Okay, there you can see the seeder blocks. You can add more seeder blocks. You can see your route tables, your internet gateway, right? Your dynamic routing gateway attachments. We have not provisioned this as yet. Network security group, I will talk about this later. Security list for the default one and the security list for the private one. DHCP options. NAT gateway is there. Service gateway. We have not provisioned any VLAN, so no VLAN is there. Okay. So alright, so our virtual cloud network is provisioned. Now let's go and provision some instance. So I'm going to now compute instance and click on the create instance. You can give it a name, so I'm giving it a name, Moodle POC VM. Right, so placements, availability domain is 1, is basically the same thing. Availability zone, it is equal to availability zone which we use in AWS cloud. We'll choose the best file domains. Right, now comes to the image and shape. So let's click on the edit. Now here you can choose the different type of image, and the image is basically the operating system, and the shape of that, the machine size of the machine. So I'm going to make it change. I'm choosing conical Ubuntu, the latest version 22.04. It is a stable one, and if you click the show advanced features, you can use a different builds or the older version also, right? So I'm going with the default one. Now click on this select image. Now click on the change shape. So there you can find a different type of shape series, which are supported or run on an AMD CPU, Intel CPU, Ampere CPU, ARM based processor, or specialty and previous generations. You can also provision a bare metal machines here, but for now I'm going to provision a virtual machine. So I'm going to choose a Intel based VM optimized 3 flags. Now by default is given one Oracle CPU and 14 GB RAM, which has a network bandwidth of 4 and total virtual NIC is 2. For my requirements, I'm going to change it to 2 and change the RAM 16 GB. So you can customize it as per your desired requirements. Now select the shape. Perfect. So networking, my virtual cloud network is Moodle POC. Subnet is the public subnet, Moodle POC. Yes, I'm going to provision this into the public subnet because I want to access this Moodle site from the internet or from the outside of my network. If you want to change it, you can click on add it, and then you can change whatever subnet you want to change. public IP address, assign a public IP address, or you can choose a do not public IP address, right? You can also assign them later, okay, if you don't want to assign them now. So advanced features, you can give your own private IP address here, and their VCN tags, subnet tags are there. Okay, now I'm going to collapse this. Now the next important part is add SSH key. This is a very important. You can create your own SSH key using the Putidian or using the OpenSSL on your systems, and then you can upload those here. But I am going to use the SSH key pair which is generated by the Oracle. So I'm going to choose this one, generate a key pair for me, and then I'm going to click save private key. This is the very important thing. Please don't miss this key, because using this key we will log in into our instance. If we lose this key, there is no way to log in into the instance. So there is another way to how we can come up with the solutions, but right now I'm not going to talk about that too much. Okay, now boot volume, you can specify the custom boot size here. So I have click here and I choose the 100 GB. I leave this as a default, which basically define the how much IOPS you need per GB. I'm leaving this option as the default using transit encryption and encryption this volume with the key that you manage. If you want a high security, you can tick this, you can select this both option. Perfect. So all this information we need. So let's review what information we actually need to create a VM on Oracle Cloud. First, you need to give a name. You need to choose the placements. You can go with the default, which is selected by the Oracle, or you can edit it, right, as per your requirements. The image size, you can go with the default one, or you can choose, as I did in this tutorial. I choose the conical Ubuntu and I choose the shape. Then you need to choose the networking, that in which virtual cloud you want to provision it, in which subnet you want to put it. Okay, then you need to add your SSH key, or you can generate a new key, and you have to have saved this private key. You can also save your public key as well. Then boot volume, you can go with the default one. Default one was the 30 GB, or you can specify the custom boot volume. So I'm going with the custom boot volume 100 GB. vCPU is basically define the boot volume performance, which define the IOPS. So for the 100 GB I will get the 6000 IOPS with the default 10 vPCU, and then you can encrypt the traffic as well as. So okay, this is all about the requirement parameter. We need to provision any VM on a Oracle Cloud. Now just go to and click on the create button. So now it's showing this area that it is now provisioning. Okay, and it is, if you come here below, so it will show the how much percentage is completed. So this is showing in progress, 15% is completed, and you can see the lot of different informations here. So here you see I get a primary IP address is 72.16.16.204 and also a public IP address. Okay, okay, so it's completely provision. It's showing that the state is success and provision is 100%. It is also showing the firmware name, Now it's showing the status is running. I can start the instance from here, I can stop, I can reboot, I can edit few parameters, I can click on the more action where I can create an image of this which is equivalent to the AMI of AWS, create instance configuration, attach instance to instance pool, I can troubleshoot the instance, I can set the diagnostic interruption, send diagnostic reboot, audit, move resources, add tags, and terminate the instance completely. So we'll go through all of these features one by one in the near future video, but now I'm not going to explain this in very detail. Now this is a shielded instance, the secure boot, measure boots, these are all disabled. These are basically features provided by the oracles to secure your instance. There are different type of oracle agents you can enable which give you the additional informations. So like vulnerability scanner you can enable on this virtual instance, which can basically it is an you can think about it as an antivirus, but you do not have to install on the instance. This feature is given you as a plugin. You just need to enable this and it will scan for any vulnerability happens in your virtual machine. Any notifications you want, you want to see, you pick up a quick start template to get a start. You can check every CPU resolution greater than 90% over the 5 minutes. So the quick start alarm, and you can create a notification. So if any time the CPU goes above the 90% utilization, it will send an emails to this address. So you need to create a topic and the subscriptions, right? So we'll do it later. Tag, there's a two tag created by the launching wizard. Okay, so if you come here in the resource sections, you can see the different metrics. So OCI compute agents provided this all matrix. Now there is a OCI compute infrastructure's health matrix also. So if you see OCI compute agents, so it will show CPU utilization, memory utilizations, disk read, write, anything you want, networking, receive, network transfer bytes, load average, memory allocation stuff. The time is UTC, you have to remember that, and you can choose that period of the utilization, last hour, 6 hour, 12 hour. Okay, start time and end time. Then you can see the attached block volume. Here there is no additional block volume attached. You can click here, attach a block volume, and then you can create different type of volume. Okay, and you can attach that here. So right now I'm not going to attach any type of block volume here, so I'm just going to cancel this. Attach VNC. So this is a virtual NIC. If you want to attach any additional virtual NIC, you can attach from here, create and attach from here. Boot volume, this is the boot volume that I have specified during the creation of this virtual machine. We can also shell connection along the shell connections to this instance. This would help when sometime you will not able to connect your virtual machine from a remote connection due to some error or due to some misconfiguration in your virtual machine, which logged on you to log in into your virtual machine from a remote location. So you can use this console connections to troubleshoot the issue, or many different type of issue you can use this to resolve. Run commands, so you can run any scripts on the instance. Work requests, we have only one request made, that is create instance, which succeed and completed 100%, which accepted on this date and time, started at this date and time, and finished this date and time. OS management, so through this you can monitor the resources, you can update the patches, top processes. Okay, so all this you can see from here. Custom logs, so this operating system does not support this, but if any image will support this, that will show you different custom logs also. Or there is no console history because I have not connected or captured any serial console connected through the console to the instance, so there is no console history. So that's all. Okay, now let's see that we can connect this instance by using SSH connections. So first I need to copy this IP address. Before that I need to do one thing. I need to convert that key file into the ppk file. So let's go to the download section. This is my key file. So okay, so let me first open the puttygen. Open. Now import the key file which we have downloaded into the download folder, and then save this as a ppk. I'm going to save this on a desktop. Moodle POCVM ppk. Save. Yes. Perfect. Now open the putty and paste my public IP address. In data, the username is Ubuntu. Expand the SSH, go to the auth and ppk key, open, and let's see. Okay, so accept this fingerprint message, and here we are in Oracle virtual machine. Right, so we have provisioned our first virtual machine on Oracle Cloud successfully. Right, let's check that we can reach to the outer world or not. So I'm just use sudo apt-get update. Yep. If I use ping, yep, we got so if you use IP address, so this is my private IP. Okay, of this VM. Perfect. Now suppose I want to run an HTTP and HTTPS on this instance, or I want to run an Apache server on this instance, and for that I need to allow user to access the port ADN443, which is HTTP and HTTPS. Now if you see here, it has a part of the subnet which is a public subnet, Moodle POC. Okay, now if you go to the networking and the virtual cloud network, this is my VCN. If I open it and if I go to the security list, this is the default security list. which allow SSH to my instance, uh, to my Moodle POC virtual machine. Right now, if I add a new ingress rule here to allow HTTP and HTTPS, that will allow all the resources that I'm going to provision in that subnet. Okay, so now I just want to only allow HTTP HTTPS to my Moodle POC VM machines, right? So how we can do that, how we can accomplish that task? For that, we need to go to the network security group, and then I need to create a network security group. Just give it in the Moodle POC VM. Next, I can add a rule. Source type is CIDR. Source CIDR is from anywhere. All protocol? No. I want a TCP. Source is any, but the destination is 80 and 443. POC VM, and then this create a, and just click on the create button. Okay, now I need to go back to my compute instance, click on this instance, and then add it on this network security group. Expand this, choose this, and save changes. So now the three type of traffic is allowed to this virtual machine. One is the SSH, which is allowed by the default security group, and HTTP and HTTPS, which is allowed by our network security group. Okay, perfect. So I hope you enjoy this tutorial and you like this tutorial. Please give it likes and subscribe my channel for more tutorial on Oracle Cloud. In the next tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can make a provision of some database on the Oracle Cloud, and you can make a connection between the your virtual machines and the Oracle database. So till then, please tune on my channel. Have a nice day. Thank you.